Yeah, I mean, my first thought is that Loyola Maryland's competitiveness is a direct reflection of their staff and their coach. Josh Leffler has done this for a long time. He's had great success as a head coach previously, and his teams, uh, and especially down the stretch, played arguably the best basketball in our league. So we knew coming into this game that this was going to be an absolute fist fight from a physicality standpoint and um, a talent standpoint. They checked some boxes, and we had just played them on Wednesday, and it was an absolute bloodbath. Something very similar. We started well, and the energy in the building was great, and that fizzled out a little bit with the threes that they made. I think they made a couple in a row that kind of put us on our heels a little bit during that stretch, but we did not break. And I would say that this team has been through so much. What you saw there was a group that was competing for the guy next to him, and these two guys led that. Shield having foul trouble in the first half definitely put him a little bit. It put him on the bench for a much longer time than I think he anticipated. But Josh Bosco's the first team All-League player. So, as a first team All-League player, what he did tonight is what's expected. And at one point, as I was coaching him, he would probably tell you, and I would tell you the same, the step-back shots were shots that I was against. And then he convinced me through his work ethic that was a way for him to get them off and be effective. So just a great all-around win. Soika Pavilion was unbelievable tonight. I'm especially proud of that. I have my Behan Strong shirt on. Behan sent us a video pre-game, and he simply said, fight your butts off. And, perspective is everything. And this group fought through screens, and they fought for one another, and they fought for the community. And coming out with the W at this time of the year is what we've worked so hard to do, and moving on. So, as they say in March, one and done. Yeah, I mean, I think that was a game plan that we had just seen. So we did prepare for the 2-3 zone. The way that they organize it is a little different. It's a little unique, and it's more like a 4-1. 4 across the free throw line. And so we were having success early getting the ball from one corner to the other, trying to move their 5-man around. They did make an adjustment in the second half, and our in-game decisions stalled a little bit. Ultimately, that's the purpose of that defense. Still going to give up relatively good shots in that defense, but it could make the offense think more than they have been up to that point. And that's what it did for us. So, that's something that we'll go back and make sure we watch. But at this point, being that we have so much capability offensively, we have to expect to see all types of defenses. Yeah, I mean, he does well against the Bison. I'll say that. He does a really good job with his pace and his height and his ability handling the ball. And he does a great job of what we call swiping a ball screen. And he got downhill a number of times with that maneuver, and it put us in a bad position. He got to the rim. I thought a little bit of an adjustment we made was just switching it in the last 5 minutes to see if he could score over Noah.
Yeah, I think when I caught it, I think there was like 6 or 7 on the clock, and at that point, it's just make a play and just try and go score. And if the defense collapses, then find the open guy. But honestly, I wasn't even thinking. I went to go to the rim, and I felt him back up a bit, and I just pulled the trigger. So I wasn't really thinking anything other than just make a play. Yeah, like Coach said, I mean, we started off hot against their man, and then they decided to switch it up quickly. So they were pressing us, and then sometimes falling back into zone, sometimes falling back into man. And when you're switching up defenses like that, and we have calls that, like we talked about, that we're going to run, and then all of a sudden you can't make that call, run that play because it's a different defense. So it just stalls, like Coach said, and just winds down the shot clock and makes us have to take tougher shots, like at the end of the shot clock. So it was definitely effective for them for sure. Yeah, me personally, and I can tell it from the energy with the guys, when it went to overtime, it was like, all right, we've been through this rodeo. Like, it's just, there was no, nervousness or anything because we've experienced it so many times. So there was complete comfortability with us going to overtime and confidence that we were going to do what we had to do.
Yeah, I was just staying ready the whole first half, I didn't know if they're going to need me at some point, but sitting on the bench, I wasn't worried one bit. I trust everyone on the court, and I knew it was going to go well. And then I was just ready to play tough when I came back. He can shoot it, but he's more of a driver. I think you have to sit on his swipe, like Coach mentioned a lot, and then you just have to be very solid. It's really about being. You don't have to do anything magical. You just have to be solid, send him to the screen, try to level his drive, and just be physical with him. I think that's the main thing. He's a physical dude. He can drive. He can finish at the rim, but if you bump off, then you got to guard him with two people at the same time. You know, Noah was helping a lot down the stretch, switching on him, switching down the lane to try to block the shot. So it's a team effort. Yeah, for sure. I think, like you said, we have so many guys that can do. I say it all the time, but can do so many things, can make plays all over the court. So it's just this is one of our biggest strengths. It's like everyone's a threat. So for sure.
I think just to remind ourselves that we're resilient and we got to a good start, and then obviously they came back and we didn't fold and we stuck together, and that's just going to be the story of the rest of this tournament. We're going to go on runs and other teams are going to go on their runs, so it's just about how we respond. So I think that's the biggest thing we learned.
I think the main thing is try to respond when other teams go on run. I think we know, like Sko said, that we're going to go on runs, other teams are going to go on runs, but we have to be able to pick it up a little bit quicker. So we stop the bleeding when we're up, like, 15, and they start making plays. We gotta kind of figure it out and try to respond faster.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, it was 100% a microcosm of our season, where things go well in a game, things go poorly, and we've been on the other side. We've lost overtime games. We've lost really close games, a bunch of them, And so what we learn about each other when that happens is that you have to play to win, and not play to lose. And what I watched from these two in particular were two guys that put the responsibility on their shoulders to make a play. And 8 overtimes will teach you that. 9 overtimes will definitely teach you. And that's part of the March Madness, chaos, so to say, because it requires people to rely on the work that they put in and lay it on the line. And you just lay it on the line. And Shio had some great moments laying on the line on that three-pointer. Joshua had a great moment on the step back and driving and finishing and stepping up and making free throws. Like, what overtimes teach you and close games teach you is you can never play not to lose. And I thought we showed that tonight. We played to win the game. We made plays for each other on both sides of the ball. And you know what? Loyola did the same thing. They played to win as well. They were aggressive, they were fearless, and they were physical. So that was a great game. And again, I have to tip my hat to Josh Leffler and his staff, because going into this game, we knew it was going to be a battle. I certainly did, and our staff, as we're preparing, we knew that they were playing their best basketball right now. They're physical and they're fearless, and those are important qualities in getting wins, especially in March.